Hi, my name is Basia. I'm a grief hope wellness specialist working with individuals, families, and groups to navigate the choppy waters of grief. The number one question that I receive from parents who have lost a child, no matter what the age or cause is the question is, how can I survive this? There's no, the answer is complicated because there's no one answer or formula. There's no GPS, if you will, or for that matter, there's no navigation system of any kind that will help someone get through. In fact, in this tiny little book that I wrote soon after my only child passed, which is called Lost to Found: Surviving the Death of Your Child. In this book, I equate the grief journey of a parent to the hero's journey, that process of initiation where in the hero's journey, someone travels out on an adventure and they come across all kinds of life-changing events that they never anticipated that actually make them into a hopefully better person once they've survived those trials in the hero's journey. However, the difference is that with a parent, they've never taken this on intentionally. They're thrust into this in the most tragic of ways, the loss of their child, and now they have to navigate this journey that they've never thought about, they've never considered. And what happens is that often there's the main loss itself, which is incredibly devastating, but there are also other losses that happen around this. Things like close relationships may change, where people who were very much supportive, or maybe that person who has lost a child was the supportive one, and now they are not the same as they used to be. So relationships change consequently. Some people don't know what to do, so they step outside a little bit and give that person space, but the person might feel incredibly alone. And so it's very complicated for everyone around that situation. And then in the beginning of the grief journey, a lot of parents, they don't want to survive. Like they feel like, I just want to be with my child. Like, this is such an unnatural experience to lose your child, the person that you've been responsible for at different times in their lives, and then now you're somehow you failed them. That how could this happen? So there's a lot of turmoil that happens, and parents often don't want to survive. So as soon as they say that, people around them get really like, oh my gosh, this person is suicidal, or this is really a dangerous situation. And yes, it must be listened to and heard. However, I will say, for the massive numbers of people that I've been in contact with and my own journey, it's not uncommon that a parent feels like they want to die after the loss of their child. In fact, sometimes, like soon after, a parent feels like, they're losing their mind. Like, they find themselves in another room and they don't know like why they're in that room, for example, what brought them to that room. And we call that grief brain. So there are things that happen that those of us that have had that experience, and those of us that are trained in grief and in grief counseling and that kind of thing, have some tools and tips to offer people. So losing a child can take us down to a very base level where beliefs, hopes, dreams, those things have all been shattered. And this grief has taken us to our knees. So it's a time of learning some very basic skills. I mean, so basic things like how do I even breathe again? So this might sound simple and like, oh, maybe I'm sounding like I'm being very dramatic or overly dramatic, if you haven't had that experience. But trust me, a parent who has lost a child may appear to be functioning on the outside, but on the inside, they are base level surviving. Um, so the question is, how will I survive this? And there are a lot of ways that people survive the loss of a child, and that mostly it's through other people who have had a similar experience, where they can see for themselves, that parent can see for themselves that someone else has survived. And it's in our stories, it's in our sharing, it's in being there, holding sacred space for someone. So if you are that person that's lost a child, or if you know of someone that's in your family or your friends, please put them in touch with this video. I have started a group called the Compassionate Friends for parents who have lost a child here in Newport Beach. I can plug people into that. I've also have other groups that I'm running. And also there are many Facebook groups, closed Facebook groups, and other supportive systems that are in place that that someone who has lost a child might benefit from. So please reach out. I'm happy to take your call, your message, your text, and let's set up a time to chat and see if any of these resources might be something that you could use. All right, thank you so much, and I wish you well on your journey of healing.